Today we're going to be graphing piecewise functions. A piecewise function puts together two or more functions to represent a scenario. Graph the function over the given domain. Remember to use an open circle on a point that is not part of the graph but is needed as part of the inequality given in the domain. So I'm going to do the first two examples with you. Number one, at a retail store, pencils can be bought in singles or bulk. The function below represents the cost of pencils given the numbers purchased. Graph the function on the corresponding coordinate plane. So that function can be translated as if you purchase anywhere between 0 and 20, less than 20 obviously, pencils, you're going to be charged 10 cents per pencil. But if you purchase larger amounts, anything over 20, you're only going to be charged 8 cents per pencil. So we're going to set up our X and Y axis. Since we want to get over 20, I don't want to just count by 1 here. Otherwise, we won't see anything over 20 since there's only 20 boxes across. So I'm going to skip count by 4, make this 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20, then 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. And label this pencils on the bottom. And then our price is going to go on the y-axis. And if we have all the way up to 40 and we're talking about 10 cents and 8 cents here, I need at least $4 up at the top. So I'm going to split it up by 20-cent intervals. So 40 cents for every other. It's 40, 80, 120, 160, $2, 240, 280, 320, 360, and $4. Okay, and now we can start to graph. So we can pull up the equation on our calculator for the first 20 if it makes you feel more confident about getting the right coordinates here. So we have 0.10 cents times x. We pull up our table, and we are given our first set of points. So I don't have to graph every single one. I know 0 is obviously 0. And if they're 10 cents each, 4 is going to be 40. 8 is going to be 80. 12 is going to be $1.20. 16 is going to be $1.60. And then 20 would be $2, but notice it's everything less than 20. So at that 20 mark, because we have less than here, we're going to put an open circle, and we'll draw the first half of our line. Okay, and then from 20 on, we are going to be given a discount at 8 cents. So we can pull up that equation. We could do it right underneath the first one so we can compare if you'd like. Pull up your table. Now jump to 20. So 20 would be $1.60. So now continuing our graph, 20 is going to cost us $1.60. So we're going to have an open or a closed circle at 20 and $1.60. Then 24 would cost us $1.92. And if we want, we could just jump to 20. We'll do it. 24 and $1.92. So a little bit underneath the 2. So we got to estimate a little bit, but that's okay. Then 28 is going to be $2.24. So a little bit over $2.20. Then 32 is going to be $2.56. So a little bit below $2.60. 36 is going to be $2.88. So a little bit above the $2.80. And 40 is going to be $3.20. And we would draw our line and show an arrow at the end to continue the price going at the 8 cent rate after 20. Okay, so now we just have to answer the questions. How much will 18 pencils cost? So 18 pencils would fall in the below 20 range. So that would be 18 times 10 cents. So it would be $1.80. How much will 24 pencils cost? That's going to fall in the over 20, so that's 8 cents for each, so that's 0.08 times 24, which we saw in our graph as being 192. And then 32 pencils is in the 8 cents range as well. And we also graphed that one. 32 was right below the 260. We can look at our table. 32 was at 256. And we've answered our questions. So that's the gist of what a piecewise function is. It's like breaking up the scenarios. So if something's not always increasing at a constant rate and maybe changes rates given a certain idea, this is what it would look like. So let's go ahead and look at number 2 together. Okay, so for number 2, we're talking about a taxi cab company. A taxi cab company charges customers differently depending on how far they must travel. The function below can be used to determine the price of the cab ride as a function of how many miles are traveled. So we have f of x equals 250x plus 5 for anything between 0 and 10, 225x plus 6 for anything between 10 and 20 miles, and 2x plus 8 for anything that's greater than 20 miles. So just like before, let's set up our bottom axis as miles. I believe there are 20 boxes again, so let's double it and go to 40 so we see all of these ranges. So we'll do 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. Now, that 40 would fall in the 2x plus 8 range. So if I plug in 40 there, 2 times 40 is 80. 80 plus 8 is 88. So to be safe, we want to get at least to 88 on our y-axis. So maybe we could go to 100. If we want to go to 100, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 boxes again. 20 times 5 makes 100, so we want to break it up by 5s or 10 every other. And this would be price. And now we can go ahead and graph those 3 functions on our calculator. So we're going to clear the ones that we had from before. And we can pull up the 3 right at the same time. So 2.5 x plus 5. Then 2 1/4 x plus 6. Then 2x plus 8. Pull up our table, and we have our 3 functions. Go back to the beginning, table start 0 and 1. And we have our first set of prices in blue, second set of prices in red, last set of prices in black. So for the first set, we want to go from 0 to 10. Obviously, if you're not going anywhere, you're not going to be charged anything. So 0 is going to be an open circle, 0, 0. And then we want to go all the way to 10. So 0, oh, actually, I shouldn't have put 0, 0 there. 0, 5, because 5 is our y-intercept. So 0, 5 should have an open circle. And then 1 is at 7.5. 2 is at 10. So I'm going to do every other. 4 is at 15. 6 is at 20. 8 is at 25. And 10 is where this one ends. So 10 would be at 30 with a closed circle because this has less than or equal to. We draw our first line. So that's the price for anything between 0 and 10 miles. Then we go to the next line, but down past 10. And this would be 10 to 20. So 10 at this case would be $28.50. So we're going to do 20 and 28.5 with an open circle just to start our function. And then we could skip and just do every other. 12 would be 33. 14 would be 37.5. 1642. Now remember, this is a linear function, so when you graph it, it should turn out being straight. So you try to follow the same rise over run as you're graphing each point. 18 would be 4650. 20 would be 51. And that ends that line with a closed circle as well. Straight line through the points. And then we go to the last interval, 2x plus 8 for anything greater than 20. So scrolling down, now I'm looking at my black numbers. 20 I have to start at, even though that doesn't count as the price. We just want to make sure we're showing each interval because 20.1 miles would fall into this category. So 20 is going to be at $48. So 20 up to 48, we start an open circle. Then 22 is going to be at 52. 24 is at 56. 26 is at 60. 28 is at 64. 30 is at 68. We could keep on going. 32 is at 72. Excuse me. 34 is at 76, and so on. So we could draw our line with an arrow at the end, showing that that price would continue for anything over 20 miles. So now how much will it cost for 8 miles, 15, or 30 miles? So we have 8 miles, obviously, is going to fall in the first category. So you could do 250 times 8 plus 5, which gives you $25. Then the next one, 15, falls into the second category. So you could do 225 times 15 plus 6, or look at the second category on your table at 15. So that would be $39.75. And then lastly, the 30 miles is going to be greater than 20, so that would be 2 times 30 plus 8, which is $68. Okay, so you're on your own for the last one. I'll be around to help you out.